Hello, everyone. Today we have the absolute pleasure of being joined by Martin Sukenik, the founder and managing director of Rainbow NW Limited. Martin, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's an absolute pleasure. Really excited to have you on and dive deep into the business, understand sort of your journey and your take on the industry. So let's get straight into it. Man, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself, your journey, your background, and I guess your upbringing, getting to the
Yeah,
position that you're currently in today?
cool. So I'm originally from Slovakia. I've been in UK for 15 years now. Came 2010 for work, couldn't speak word of English, started in warehousing, and I built my way up into management. After 8 years being in recruitment, being a senior contract manager, looking after a couple sites, I kind of like burned out in the corporate world. Probably because I was reading quite a lot of books. It started with motivational books and then business books. And somehow deeply inside, I felt that I really want to have my own business. I want that freedom. I wanted to experience how is it to work for myself and, build something that is mine. So 2018, I took redundancy. I could work on the other side, but it was quite far. And I think I was ready to make this happen. And it was kind of like flash that was telling me that, right, this is the opportunity. You've been waiting for this. You don't need any more than this, take it and go your own way. So I set up limited company, started sourcing properties. I made a couple mistakes, quite many mistakes, I would say. I invested in car wash as well, spent 9 months washing cars, signed a sublease, couldn't sell it. Then eventually I managed to sell it and then went full time to property, started finding deals, and eventually I managed to sell enough properties to survive in a business. And now I'm making deals happen basically. So my main business is selling off market properties to investors. I'm linking seller and buyer and we make deals happen. And alongside with that, I'm building my own estate agency and management company.
Amazing, amazing. What a journey. I mean, Martin, what part of that journey do you think you learned the most from? What part of the journey was the most difficult and perhaps gave you that reason to grow?
Definitely from mistakes and from the lowest points, because I think they are definitely part of everyone's journey. And at some point of your life, you have to experience those falls and basically lower parts of the life where you're struggling with money, when everything goes wrong way. Obviously, you arguing with your partner because, for example, she doesn't understand what you're doing. I went from 40k plus bonuses salary to making £350 a month in car wash because it wasn't making any money. So she just didn't understand what I was doing. But no one else got your vision but yourself. So no one else can tell you which way you want to go. Only you know where you need to go, and you just have to follow kind of your dream, your vision, and you have to keep going. So the most I learned definitely from mistakes. I lost a lot of money. We can talk. I'm talking 150,000 probably. Even in the property, I made a couple mistakes. I took some apartments during the COVID for Airbnb service accommodation model. It wasn't working because we couldn't fulfill it. And yeah, I survived. I'm still here. I'm making deals happen. I built great foundation. Sold over probably 300 deals, some bigger deals as well, portfolios, blocks, and I'm building on it basically.
Amazing. A big question I like to ask entrepreneurs is there any stage of their journey do you regret, or do you sort of feel as though everything was worth it and it paid off in the end? What's your take on mistakes? Do you feel that the regrets? Would you do things differently,
No,
or do you
never,
treat
never.
everything as a lesson?
You have to put your mindset to the right wavelength, and that is that every mistake is a lesson. It happens for a reason. Sometimes it's before you make some bigger money, for example, you have to experience lows as well because you wouldn't appreciate it. Now, if you made 10 million in week time and you never had that kind of money, there is big chance that you will just blow it and you will be back where you were before because you're not going to be cautious. You're not going to invest it and you're not going to put it in the right places, basically. I don't think there is any regrets. Everything happened for a reason. I'm still experiencing problems. Every business has ups and downs. Sometimes you do better. Sometimes it's not that great, but it's worth. Like, freedom is the most important for me. Freedom was the biggest thing for me, that I can spend more time with my family. I can take off whenever I want. I don't usually take days off, but if I need to go somewhere, like recently, my son is playing football. He plays for two teams, and I spend a lot of time with him, watching him, spending time on trainings, and the enjoyment of being present is priceless. He will remember me to be there, instead of remembering that was always in work, and he couldn't watch me and couldn't support me mentally. So
Absolutely. I think a lot of people forget that as a business owner, not only are you a role model to your team and people around you, but you're also a role model to your family. Being able to be present, being able to, make sure everyone's okay. That's kind of a part of business, isn't it? Would you say? Taking care of your
100%,
family
100%.
and being there for them is just as important as being
And,
there for your
you
team.
know, don't take me wrong. It's not that easy that you will just take 5 days off and you can't work. In most cases, you are the business. So you
Absolutely.
are required to be there, because if you have some kind of vision, if you're building something, no one else got that vision but you. You can delegate to your people, but in the end of the day, it's your business. It's your baby that you're trying to raise right way. You have to spend time. Sometimes I was working 16, 18 hours a day, but sometimes I didn't work at all. I took day off with my family, and I enjoyed myself, and that's the benefit of working for myself and being a business owner.
Absolutely. Very well said. I guess coming nicely onto the next topic, Martin, is industry trends. So, what are some significant trends or shifts in the industry you're seeing within property, within real estate, within investing? And how do you see them panning out over the next few months? What's your overall take on what's happening currently in the market?
So I think market is still strong. The renters bill that is coming is not helping to investors' mindset, because it's harder and harder, especially for single buy-to-let strategy, to make money that you were making before, when the mortgage rates were much lower and there were no such compliance and requirements. But look, the way I see it, the real estate game is a long-term game. Whoever thinks that you will become a millionaire in a week time or month time, they just fool themselves, or someone fooled them, because this is a long-term game. This is invest, sit on it 5-10 years, and then reap the fruit. That's how you should be looking at the real estate. Yes, there are different strategies like flips, where you can make money by flipping rundown property, refurbishing and selling, and make instant money. But it's not that instant. It takes time to refurbish it. It takes time to sell it. Sometimes you've got problems to sell it. But yeah, the trends, and I think the big shift is in softwares. It's much helpful. I can see it. Like, we are referencing some potential tenants now, and all I need to provide that referencing company is their name, email address, and telephone number, and they do absolutely everything. Right to rent check, employment check. So it's much easier for us to use the right tools. Whereas next level, most of them are powered by AI. So it's all systemized at the moment. And I do believe that every business is about the people. People do business with other people and always will. You can't take that element off. No matter how good service or product you have, people trust you. You are the face of the business. They want to buy your product because they believe what you said, and they believe in your vision or your product. But the main thing, they believe you. So, my focus is on providing good service to my clients and being different that way, basically. Once they bought property through us or experience the service, the level of service that we can provide them, they will come back. And it happened already a couple of times. I sold some properties twice, because the client came back after a couple of years, they made some money, and they said, Martin, listen, it's time to exit. Can you help me to sell? And I sold it again, the same property that I sold 2019 or 2018. So repeated business. It's It's great. I think the main shift that I can see in real estate is softwares, and it's much easier to use these tools. It helps you a lot to save lots of time, and it's all organized. Everything is on your laptop. You know, you don't have to file anything. No paperwork. Everything is basically everything you can do from the laptop and anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. I think it's a very interesting comparison because on one hand you have technology and software coming in to really help businesses and speed things up. But then on the other hand, you talk about the renters' right reform and you have compliance and legislation that perhaps making it difficult for people to actually do well in property. So how do you navigate that balance and how do you make your business actually as strong as possible to be able to adapt to these changes, good or bad? What are some ways you've actually adapted to the changes and how do you stand out in the sea of
Look,
competition?
the most important is to understand what's happening, to understand the changes and being able to explain to your clients. Most of my clients are investors. So I need to be able to explain them basically about these changes, what impact is going to have on them, and just assure them that, in the end of the day, any property that is worth certain amount today will be worth more in 5 or 10 years. It's been proven for years and years. In the end, it's all going up. So yes, just to be able to understand it and explain to your clients about these changes.
Amazing. Very well said. Now, Martin, I wanted to get your take on a massive trend and shift in the industry across all industry really the past 10, 15 years is the power of social media. Right. Obviously, I understand you're active on social media, LinkedIn, etc. But what kind of impact has social media made on your business and the success of it? How do you see social media adapting in the oncoming months and years to be able to benefit businesses? And what is the necessity of social media for a business that wants to do well?
For me personally, it was mainly kind of like credibility check. So once you're on social media, once you create some video content that is relevant to what you do and people can see your face, you're not hiding anywhere behind the company name. You're out there, you're doing things, you make live videos of current refurbishment or properties that you sold. People can see you, people can see your face, and you're more trustworthy, I would say. So for me personally, it was more kind of like credibility check. And, if someone will search my name on LinkedIn and they will go to Facebook, they will find a couple videos with myself, with my clients, and they can see that, it's just a company that we created to sell some deals. Is actually myself, the main person who believes in this vision to provide them a good service and find them a good deals. And they can see me on all platforms, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is big for businesses, in my opinion, much more powerful than Facebook. There is a lot of computer warriors on the Facebook just sat behind the laptop and commenting wrong comments sometimes. You will always find it, saying that, real estate, it's not safe investment and all that, but they don't really understand it. They never invested themselves. They just comment on other people's posts, basically. But social media, it's powerful, can be very, very powerful. Also, you can reach lots of people. You can reach overseas clients. You can reach any clients in the world, basically. And once they see that you are genuine, that there is full transparency, and you do what you said you would, then the trust is there, and it's much easier to do business with people.
Absolutely, absolutely, very well said. Now, another sub-trend on also social media is founder-led content. Is I guess back in the day you'd had a lot of businesses running ads or presenting themselves in a lot of investment in logos, whereas now you're seeing that a lot of business owners who are behind businesses or leading the business are actually coming out and presenting themselves on camera and they're doing content, providing value, educating their audience. So that's a big trend as well. Is that something you're already doing while with yourself being on camera, providing value? Is that something you're looking forward to doing in the future? What's your
Not
take
yet.
on founder-led
Not,
content?
not yet, but I definitely would like to do something like this. I would say I would like to do some kind of mentoring more than being another property guru and talk about the properties. It would be more on personal level, on mindset, on encouragement that, go to the business, follow your vision, whatever you want to do, whether you want to open a restaurant. It doesn't necessarily need to be real estate. I ended up in real estate because in every book that I was reading, every successful person mentioned real estate, that they were somehow connected to real estate, whether they invested, whether they had portfolio, or whether they made some good deals where they made money. And that's why I ended up in real estate, because I liked it and I felt that I will be good in sales. And I proved that. I proved that by my sales, what I sold so far, and we still keep going and we just want to grow it. But yeah, definitely I would be interested to do something like that, like kind of mentoring, but more on personal level than just a property advice, I would say.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm sure a lot of people are excited for that. So that's great. Now, I guess mine honing in more on the business side of things, what are some aspects or areas of the business that are doing really well and going strength to strength? And what are some areas of the business that perhaps are challenging and, you're having some hurdles you're looking to overcome?
The challenges, I would say, in real estate is the market is changing all the time. So I'll give you an example. I had a project, my own project, a bungalow that we turned from 3-bed to 4-bed, and it's supposed to be flip. And January 2023 is when we finished it and we put it on the market. And that was the time when the mortgage rate skyrocketed from, let's say, 4% to 6%. So many people weren't able to get mortgage because of their affordability. And I couldn't sell it. I couldn't get the right price for it. It was around close to 300K basically that we needed for it. And in the end, basically, I had to remortgage it, and I kept it for myself. I've got tenant there. It's a great house, but you have to be able to adapt to these changes. So I guess the biggest challenge in our industry in real estate is that market is changing all the time. But there was a crash 2007-8. Many people predicted crashes again. It didn't happen. The market was skyrocketing in 2022, 2023, 21, 22, 23. Every property, I'm talking about my area now, Manchester, was selling 15, 20K above asking prices, every property. So there was 10, 15 offers on the table. Then suddenly there was 1, 2 offers when these mortgages skyrocketed. So, estate agents had to adapt to this. And instead of being able to pick up from 15 potential buyers, they only had 2, 3 on the table or 1. So those are the biggest challenges, that the market is always changing, but you have to be able to adapt to it. It's like in any other business. If you have some great products, there will always be some better products than yours. Someone is developing something better. iPhone is great, but I believe there will be at some point a very similar phone that will be smashing sales like iPhones are doing at the moment. So those are the challenges. And the other question was
Strengths. What are some areas of the business that's going really well and you're going strength to strength?
I think the strength, your strength in business is your reputation. Once you build it, and once you create that aura of being transparent, being loyal, and do what you said you would, you kind of create like a bulletproof shield around you, basically. So not many people can do much to you, because you build trust with your clients, and no matter what other competition will say, they just can't break it. They can't break it because it's based on real cases of clients' feedback, basically. Like, I'll give you an example, like our Google business, I've got around 60 something 5-star reviews, and that's from some of the overseas clients who never ever stepped foot into the property they bought through myself. They just trusted me, my pictures, my video, my professional advice, where to buy, what to buy, when to buy, and they made good investments. They made, by now, in a couple of years time, probably 50 60 grand without spending a lot of money and doing any big refurbishments like changing the kitchen or bathroom. So the strength is in your ability to create a great foundation, And the great foundation is your personality and basically your reputation is the strongest thing. No one can do anything to you once you build it, but you have to be careful because it's easy to lose it as well. You still have to keep doing the right things, the right decisions all the time, because it takes 1-2 clients who will complain, and they can take you all over the social media that you've done this, you've done that, and it can be broken as well. But once you build that great foundation, it's easy to build on it.
Amazing. Very well said, Martin. And Martin, you touched on obviously AI, and AI being another massive trend that's blown up in the last year or two. So what is your overall take on AI? How do you see AI advancing and developing? And are there some ways you're already using the power of AI, or is that something you're perhaps on the fence about and not quite sure of? What's your take on AI?
Obviously, we use a lot of ChatGPT help when we need to create some descriptions and all that. It's so easy, it's so fast. Like description for the property that would take you, I don't know, half an hour. It takes you literally seconds now. You just type the address, how many bedrooms, and it will create the whole description of the area and everything. So it's just easier to do things with AI. I'm not a big tech guy, but I do understand that a lot of new softwares are powered by AI, and they're using this this intelligence that is helping to those software to be faster, more efficient, and having the right information, basically. So it helps a lot in our industry, 100% with everything, because you can kind of rely on it, on the information that it provides you, and it's fast. Sometimes literally you get a question from the client that you're not sure of. We don't know everything. And sometimes you go to chat GPT and you've got the answer within a second, basically. So there are great tools out there that you can use. We don't use a lot of systems that are just AI powered, but we use CRM systems. We use referencing systems that are very, very efficient and fast, basically. It saves a lot of time. Things that used to take days, they are taking hours and minutes now.
Amazing. I think that's where AI is really coming in and benefiting businesses, because a lot of people think AI is here to replace humans and take everyone's jobs. I think if you find that balance where businesses can utilize AI to improve, operations, streamline costs, and deliver a better service, then it's a win-win for everyone, because at the end of the day, the customer gets a better service as well.
Look, if you do your paperwork faster, that means you can spend more time on the business, which is my main thing. Is I'm a people person. I like to be out there shaking hands, closing deals, getting more landlords on board, getting more investors on board. So I don't want to be sat 8 hours behind the laptop and do all the paperwork. I want that be as smooth as possible, basically. And these new systems and softwares are helping me to do that. And then I can focus more by looking for some business networking events and going out there and meeting people, because that's where my strength is, I believe.
Amazing. Very well said, Martin. Now, I guess if we can come on to the future, right, Martin, what does the future look like for yourself and the company? If we talk maybe the next 6 to 12 months, what are some metrics? What are some goals on your vision board?
6 to 12 months, we are building now a state agency. So by now, I only been selling off-market properties, dealing with investors. We still do this, and we will always do it. However, now we're building a state agency, so we will be covering Manchester. We will be selling on-the-market properties to anyone, not just investors, targeting first-time buyers, everyone who wants to buy property in these areas. And we also build in management. So my goal by end of this year is to have 30 properties in management, and obviously pipeline of sales. How far it's going to go, I don't know. We've got some goals for following 2-3 years. And later on, I think what I would love to create is I would like to sign up some agents, help them to sell, give them tools and show them how to sell, use my experience from sales and basically navigate them and help them to make money and make some money for myself as well. So So I think the future for Rainbow Northwest will be recruiting agents, the right agents who will follow my vision, who will provide the same level of service that I'm providing my clients, and, create a great environment for everyone to work to and make money together. I'm a big believer in collaboration.
Absolutely. Very well said, mine. And I guess just to finish up on, what is the biggest piece of advice that you've perhaps learned the hard way, or the biggest piece of advice you wish you knew when you started your journey of entrepreneurship?
The biggest piece of advice for anyone who's struggling at the moment and they are facing obstacles, as we always do, is just keep going. I always think about the quote that I like from Winston Churchill. He said, if you're going through the hell, keep going. So you always have to just keep going, basically. If you have the vision and you know where you're going and there is an end goal, what you want to achieve, you will always get there. Sometimes it feels that it's too slow, you're going small steps, but as long as you go, 3 steps forward and 1 back, you're still going forwards. You still at some point reach that destination that you want to achieve. And for some people, it can be some number on the bank account. For some people, it can be that freedom that they create certain amount of salary that is enough for them to be able to travel and do things. But yeah, just in the business, just keep going and never giving up. It's that kind of game where you have to be strong, mainly mentally.
Absolutely, mine. That was amazing. Thank you very, very much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. I've really enjoyed myself speaking to you, and I'm sure a lot of people really enjoyed your input, your sort of experience and everything. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for
I
your time.
appreciate your time. You take care. Have a good day.
Any closing comments for the people listening at home, mine? Anything before we do wrap up?
Obviously, everyone who wants to meet me or grab a coffee, I'm based in Northwest. I'm based. My main activities are around Manchester, Liverpool, Greater Manchester area. I'm a big believer in collaboration. I've got deals on the table that I can't sell all of them. I'm sure there are people out there who have clients who could sell my deals, and vice versa. I can sell your deals because I've got clients for your type of deals. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Drop me a message. I will always reply to you as soon as I wake up, usually 5:30 before I hit the gym. I'm on my phone replying to everyone. So would be great to collaborate. Let's collaborate together. There is enough business for all of us. Let's do some business together. Let's make some money together.
Amazing. Yeah. Thanks for everyone who has tuned in.